I know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Hello and welcome to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Here at Spoilt Milk, we like to discuss, destroy and dissect guilty pleasure movies and decide whether they're truly spoilt milk or if they've ascended into a fine, luxurious cheese. So without further ado, here we go.
Warning, this podcast is full of spoilers for the title feature and there's bad language from the start. If you've never seen the film or you're offended by bad language, you have been warned.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Katty and the Hobo. No fancy introductions today. Katty, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You've been walking the dog today?
We went on an adventure.
That's not a euphemism.
We went on a right adventure.
Where did you go?
Some random, wood bit next to some beck.
All right. What is a beck?
I think he's a Grammy Award.
Oh dear. And on that note, we've also got the Hobo with that cracking joke. How are you, Hobo?
How do you do? Thought I'd give myself a fancy introduction, seeing as she won't give me
Seriously,
one.
though, what's a beck?
I thought it was like a little stream.
So
thing.
what's a stream?
Well, there's actually a video that explains all these different types of words for different types of bodies of water, because there's so many different ones. You know, like the different stream, like a cove and...
No,
what's a cove?
Like a cove is where there's a cutout, you know, where there's a beach, but it's like a cutout.
Oh,
of,
yeah.
Okay.
That's a cove. But there's something else that's very similar to a cove, but it's called something else, and I've forgotten it. There's like hundreds of thousands of words for different types of bodies of water. And they're all very, like, there's estuaries. I can't remember the difference between an estuary and a beck.
I thought an estuary was just like a reservoir.
What's a tributary?
That's another one.
Is that a branch coming off?
Probably.
Well, we're definitely getting way off topic. Today we're going to be discussing the 1986 film FX, a film I'd never heard of until the Hobo suggested it. Mm-hmm. Where did you dig this film up from?
This film used to be on TV all the time. It's one of those ones that, you could just, it'd be on repeat. Like, you'd probably see it every 3 months or something.
Like Hangover.
Hangover, is
on
that
ITV2.
Or Hot Fuzz.
Oh, yeah.
So, a lot of films like FX have gone out now, but they used to be, back when you had less films, they used to be part of that regular body. But I did kind of screw up a little bit, because the one I remember from being a kid actually was FX2.
Oh, right, okay.
But I couldn't remember because it had been so long, so I just thought, FX, that's the higher rated one. It must be that one that I saw. And then
we'll get into FX shortly, but first of all, we've got a top three sent in by Ryan Wood. Or Ryan's Wood.
Wood.
Prior to what you may think, he's actually not made of wood, but stone.
Oh, and he's not an erection.
He could be an erection, a giant erection.
I was hoping for one of them, wooden artist mannequins.
Oh, yeah.
Just one that Hobo just got as a friend and just called him Ryan.
Hello, Ryan. What would you like us to talk about today?
Like the film Mannequin, where it comes to life.
I was thinking more like, what's it called? Castaway. and Wilson. You'd gone insane.
Ryan Wood is my friend and he's real. I swear to you guys.
So what did Ryan Wood secretly tell you that he wanted as his top three?
He wanted us to discuss our top 3 exposed male buttocks.
That's definitely you. That's definitely your mannequin puppet. You want to talk about it so you can justify your browsing history.
I'm going to suggest my mannequin's buttocks. And if you want to see what film he's been in, you can just look at my private collection that I've made.
Yes, I thought you were going to say mannequin. So Ryan wanted to know about, was there any rules around this? Just it has to be exposed, has to be male, has to be in a film.
Yes, they're the 3 basic rules as implied by the name. I don't know, what were you hoping for, more rules?
Is it hairy? Has it been waxed?
I mean, he's not going to impose rules on what is you guys consider decent and non-decent. That's for That's surely for us to decide.
I'd be intrigued to know if any of your butts are hairy.
Mine's like a werewolf's palm.
Oh, really? Usually you only get very smooth
leathery?
butts.
Leathery and just
A werewolf's palm is surely like a gorilla's.
calloused.
I'm both curious and scared of what your buttock.
I don't have one buttock.
No, just one leathery one. Just one normal.
I chose the left buttock of this actor.
When I was talking about your butts, I meant the ones you selected, not the ones on your body, like at the top of your legs.
Be more specific.
Yeah, well, I would be intrigued to know about how hairy the buttocks are of the selections you've made.
Okay.
I think the one I've gone for is very hairless for a man.
The one that I've gone for is not obviously hairy. I mean, you don't really get an up-close and personal kind of view of it, but
Right, okay then.
it's not obviously
I'd be
hairy.
intrigued.
Well, I mean, depending on what era of film you pick, you'll probably get from a very hairy butt to a very smooth butt.
A 70s butt.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be...
Well, I'm going to go for first because I'm worried that you might have mine.
I've got one!
Yeah, no, but we spoke about what era yours is from, and I think unless you go for one of the sequels of this, I think I'm fine.
Okay.
But I'm picking a nude buttocks, a pair of buttocks, a collection of buttocks.
Oh.
That is, no, it's just one person's buttocks. From the same man exposed in the original and the sequel. I'm going to go for the Terminator.
Okay.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger exposes his buttocks in not only the first Terminator film, but the second Terminator film. So we get 2 lots of exposed buttocks in sequels. It came back, basically, for the sequel, the buttocks. They are very shiny. They are very muscular, smooth. I feel like I could eat some food off it, or maybe pour some milk down the top of his back, and it would still roll down the crevice into my mouth.
You say you feel like you could, or did you have the desire to? Because they're 2 different things.
I'm not going to comment on that. So I think not only for the fact that he's got good buttocks, I don't like saying buttocks now, it feels like. He's got a good arse, and it appears in 2 films, the first and the second. And in the second, you see Robert Patrick's nude butt. And another little interesting fact, they digitally removed his nutsack from... So Robert Patrick is like knelt down or crouched down.
Does he have a really saggy ball sack?
No, I think it's just he's quite a slim, slender guy. He's not like Arnie with tree trunk legs. But the position he's in, you just get a little bit of exposed hairy nutsack just popping out.
Oh, can you see the hairs as well?
Yeah, it's quite hairy. Yeah, he's not trimmed off or waxed or anything.
It's like
for
a little
the film.
Furby hanging.
Yeah, a little Furby. Just Gizmo's head poking out the bottom. But the reason why I love that is because not only did they digitally remove it, but that was someone's job.
Yeah.
Like someone was like, "Oh, what are you doing today, Todd?" I'm just gonna digitally remove Robert Patrick's nuts.
Good times.
That's my exposed buttocks and a little bit of a nutty story for you there. Who's going next?
I'm going to go next because I've got one.
Okay.
I don't know, Hobo will rattle on about his arse all the time. So, I found this one really, really hard.
Really?
Not to pick, not because I had a selection of butts, but...
Oh, you already had a selection of butts.
I had a selection of butts, but because I just couldn't think of a film where someone got the butt out. And they were just like, oh, maybe American History X, or like, no, because the only time you see his butt is when he's getting raped, and we don't want that.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Well, this is about how good the butt is, not necessarily the context of it. So
Yeah, but you'd forever have it in the back of your mind, though, wouldn't you? Like, ooh, Edward Norton's butt. But he is getting violently attacked in a shower.
Yeah. Kind of
That's
spoils
a fair
the
point.
butt scene, doesn't it, really?
So I went for Will Ferrell's butt in Old School.
Do you know what? I thought of Old School, but another exposed male butt. The bit where the big fat guy, they tie something around his nuts. And then he throws a brick off the thing.
Yeah, they're on the bridge.
Yeah,
and
and
they're all...
he falls off, and
Yeah.
you see his massive ace, his massive ass, flying down. But I didn't think that's got 2 exposed butts in it.
I think it's got many scenes, but my favourite is just where Will Ferrell's just streaking.
He's got a bit of a hairy butt, hasn't he?
It's not like noticeably hairy though.
It's a weird fuzz.
Yeah.
He's
Like
got
a
a weird
peach.
fuzz, all
Like
over him.
Robert Patrick's nuts, just all over him. Oh, just imagine if your skin was all like nut skin.
You mean like, but you can see those really saggy dogs that exist, don't they? They've got really saggy, the ones where the skin is covering their eyes.
Yeah.
That's what it'd be like to have nut skin all over you, I imagine. You wouldn't be able to, you'd have to lip up flaps to
You know,
see.
I started this conversation and I want it to end. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Oh, what film is it? Or is it a TV show and there's like an alien guy and he's just all made out of nutsack?
Of course you've seen it in a film.
That sounds awesome. I want to see it.
I can't remember what it is. It's like some sort of like dog kind of creature. He's got weird fingernails and he's got like a really saggy nutsack face.
Is it not that thing from Big Trouble in Little China?
No.
Or Gwildor from
Yeah, I was
Masters of the
thinking
Universe?
No,
Gwildor. He's
it's
got a
like-
weirdly saggy...
It's like some weird dog alien thing.
Dog alien thing.
I'll figure it out.
So
Okay.
why do you love Will Ferrell's butt? Is it the context or is it the butt itself?
It's just the context of it.
Right, okay.
It's just like, it's a middle-aged man, like, going back to college and just streaking.
I think that was the first time that I really noticed Will Ferrell as like a comedic. Like I remember seeing that and just thinking, who's this straight-laced guy? And then him doing the run and being like, oh, this guy's fucking crazy. He's Frank the Tank. But he's in Zoolander. I must have seen that first.
Yeah.
But
You
probably
don't know-
didn't put
yeah.
2 and 2 together
You
at that
didn't know
time.
it was him in Zoolander. I don't think many people are aware of who he was in Zoolander.
It's Mugatu.
Yeah,
No,
but I mean, like...
you weren't
yeah.
like, oh, that's Will Ferrell at the time. You were just like, oh, who's this guy?
Yeah.
No.
No? All right, okay. So anything else you want to say about your butt?
It's great. It's
Hobo.
great. 10 out of 10.
Not sure if I can follow up both Arnie butt and
Didn't
then
you have like
hairy butt.
20 selections that you could have picked from?
Well, the first one I thought of was...
Owen's just said Max butt in Lethal Weapon 6.
Oh, what?
Have you not seen
Always
Sunny in Philadelphia?
No, never watched it.
Yeah. You need to watch it. That is amazing. I didn't think about that one.
Sorry, Hobo.
The first one I thought of was Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool.
Okay.
Did he get his butt out?
He gets his butt out a lot.
Yeah. You know, especially the sex scene where they celebrate like Women's Day and she's doing him with the dildo.
I can't remember.
It's called pegging.
Pegging, yeah.
What? What's pegging? Do you know what? I feel like I don't know fucking anything, right? Someone today said something about something to do with the Sony hack and was talking about how it was called the fappening. And I was like, what does that mean? And everyone was laughing at me and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what fap or fapping means?
No.
Okay. Do you know now?
No one told me.
It means jerking off.
Oh. And I was talking about this in work, being like, I don't know what you're on
It's
about.
because that's the sound that, like, if you used to type, you know, what was it, on a...
Onomatopoeia.
Yeah, an onomatopoeia.
I know
for
that.
it. Yeah. It would be fap, 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 fap.
I like the action.
So that's where the word fap came from, and then obviously people have turned it into like verbs, adjectives, and all that stuff. So, and then the fappening, because it was a load of celebrities' nudes online, so it's going to be a load of nerd boys jerking off online.
All right. So you didn't pick Deadpool. So tell us about the arse that you
The
picked.
hand movement is being caught.
But so the one I did pick, and this is the one I did say I thought you might not be surprised by this. It's Chris Evans.
Is it Star Wars?
No. So the guy who plays Captain
Not
America.
another teen movie.
Yes!
God, you fucking love not another teen movie. What reminders of what happens?
I can't remember the
I
full
know
scene,
what
but it's the
happens.
bit where he turns around and he's got like a bit of cream and a banana sticking out his
Oh,
butt.
is he wearing the cream bikini as
Yeah,
well? With
yeah.
From
That's
Varsity
it.
Blues, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what do you love about that bit?
It's just it's a funny moment. It's a nice butt,
is.
and it's Captain America's butt, which is, I mean, the next best thing is Hulk's butt. I mean,
No one wants to see a big green butt.
I'm no one.
We know that.
Everyone wants to see Hulk's butt, right?
No.
Does he get it out in Thor Ragnarok?
I don't think.
Hulk
He's
butt.
in a hot tub, isn't he? Like a
Yeah,
jacuzzi.
do you see Hulk butt?
Oh, I don't think so. But I might have to go back frame by frame and post it. I'll post it on our page if it's a Hulk butt.
The second
Don't worry,
fappening.
guys. I've got your backs.
The second fappening.
And it's just loads of Hulk butt pictures. Sexy Hulk.
Right, so
Why do
that's
you
our
sound
top
like
three.
Yoda?
That's another green butt.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
I wonder how bony it is.
So that's our top three. I've gone for Terminator. I nearly went for Loaded Weapon again. Have you seen Loaded Weapon?
That's the
Wait.
piss take one with what's his face from
Yeah,
Spaceballs.
but I used that for my top cameo before. But the bit where he
okay.
goes for a butt in the moonlight walk or butt in the moonbeam walk, and he just gets up and walks with his butt in the moonbeam. But I couldn't pick it again. But yeah, I went for Terminator 1 and 2, Katty.
Old school.
And Hobo.
Not another team movie.
Right, okay, so that's our top three, and we'll be back shortly with FX.
Woo!
We're going streaky! Yes! No, sorry, we're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody! Come on, Snoop! Snoop-a-loop! No, it's cool. I'm cool. Bring your green hat. Let's go. Come on, everybody, we're going. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to this new episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, where today we're going to be talking about 1986 film FX. Katty, what is FX all about?
So,
mate! What's in bed?
I can't do an Australian accent. So we've got the Australian special effects guy, Rollie,
Yep.
or Roland.
Roland, but it's Rollie, right?
Yeah,
Rollie.
Rollie.
Yeah.
His mates call him Rollie.
Rollie.
Rollie. So he is like the creme de la creme of special effects artists in America.
Yeah, he is.
He is like the dog's balls. And some guy, he's working on a shoe and his girlfriend's there. Some guy's just like, I've got a job for you. Tries to like play it off as if it's like a new film.
Yes.
And then he sort of stalks him a little bit, goes round to his house, and it turns out it's actually for the FBI.
What does he want?
Exciting
So-
times.
It's super exciting times. So what he wants is, well, this guy is called Lipton, like the tea.
Like the tea. I was thinking like Lipton ice all the time. Get some iced tea on the go.
Well, Rollie's like, oh, do you want coffee? And he's like, oh, actually, my name's Lipton. He's like, do you want tea?
Yeah. That's quite a good gag, isn't it? You can laugh a minute with the Rollie, isn't it?
So Lipton goes round to Rollie's house or flat, and there's just like loads of amazing special effects sort of like things. It's looking around like, oh, that's from that film, and that's from that film, and that one's from Crocodile Baby.
I think the one about a mummy, and the mummy's got a bong, and it's just like sat there with this bong.
I can't remember what it is. What is
Planet of the Female Mummies.
yeah, there's Planet of the Female Mummies, but there's one that,
I Dismember Mama.
Yeah, it was the mama one.
yeah, and
There's Rockadie Baby.
oh,
No,
that's
it's
not
definitely-
Crocodile Baby then.
What you done this crocodile? No.
Oh, the ones I wrote down.
It was definitely the one about the mummy or whatever. That's a bit
not the full, not the full lady, not the lady mummies on Planet Mummy Lady or whatever.
mummy lady, lady, lovely mummy.
It was the one about the mama.
Yeah.
I Dismember Mama.
Yeah.
And she just was
She had
like sat with a massive bong.
Yeah.
Like a bubbly bong
And
or
is
whatever.
there just like readjusting a bong?
So yeah, and then it goes crackers, doesn't it? Because Lipton comes in. I can't say Lipton. Can we call him something else?
Jeremy.
Just
Skippy?
rename him. What?
Skippy.
He's not Australian, Lipton.
Yeah, but Rollie's Australian and he's got a psychic. Skippy.
All right, we'll call him Lipton. His name's Martin. I can't call him Martin.
No.
Can we? That's a bit rubbish. So Martin turns up and he's like, "I've got a job for you."
Yeah. And it's to stage the assassination of some mob guy.
Yeah. Who's the mob guy again?
Nicholas DeFranco.
Yeah, James DeFranco.
And
His dada. His Papa.
Big Papa.
Big Papa Franco.
Big Papa Franco. So he is testifying against the mob. He was once in the mob, but he's decided he wants a clean life now. So he's testifying against them, but to do that, they have to stage an assassination because there's already a hit out on him. So they go to Rollie because he's like amazing. And he's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. Well, you would be, wouldn't you?
Yeah, troubled waters.
And then he says yes.
Oh, why does he say yes?
Yeah, surely there's a pivotal moment in the film where he says yes and you understand his reasonings.
Because they try and do him over. It's like, oh, well, if you're not going to do it, then we're going to ask Ben, whatever his name is.
Oh, I don't remember this bit. I thought that it was
Is it
because
like
they were
Ben Howard or something?
There's a guy he hates, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's
How do you remember Ben Howard or whatever? It's probably not his name.
It's probably not. But it's just like, oh, we'll just go to him instead. And they do that classic thing what your mum used to do.
McKinnon is the guy.
Oh, is it?
We're going to ask McKinnon.
Yeah.
I prefer Ben Howard. Is that just someone you know? Like someone you went to school with?
No.
Gasp, Ben. Fucking Ben Howard.
But they do that, like, your mum ever be like, oh, I'm going to phone police on you, or I'm going to...
Oh, the old reverse psychology.
Yeah.
And my mum would be like, I'm going to fucking adopt McKinnon. And she'd be like, oh, when I get McKinnon to be my new son.
McKinnon.
It's there in, like, the FBI's office, and they're like, oh, they walk over to the phone, they pick up the phone, it's like, oh, we'll just ask McKinnon to do it instead, and start dialing a number, and Rollie comes back in just like... Give me 24 hours to think about it.
Because they obviously know McKinnon's number off by heart as well.
Obviously, they're the FBI. They know everyone's number off by heart.
Oh shit, yeah, I've actually got in my notes, Rollie can't handle them going to McKinnon. And then that was followed by, this guy isn't a lead. My first assessment of Rollie, he's not a lead.
Can anyone tell me, other than obviously they're trying to reverse psychology of McKinnon, but in those 24 hours that he needs to decide... What happens? What?
It just bangs his missus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He just gets into some proper tonguing action.
Not even 24 hours, though.
No.
He goes home and he talks about pak choi having, like, a nice texture like alien skin.
Oh, it does, though. I like pak choi.
And then they start necking on, and then next thing you see, he's there, sat there in his pants.
Oh, yeah, he's got proper white
Tidy whities on.
Yeah.
On the phone, on this really long table, just in, like, some sweet red... kind of prostitute lighting.
He has got a sweet flat. I love his little apartment.
Not as good as a flat from Flashdance.
Do you know what? I've never seen Flashdance.
What?
No,
Yeah.
same. And also, just to let you know, not as good as this flat from the second one, because the second one, he has a lift into his apartment.
I feel like that one had a lift, you just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, they
There were a
weren't
lot of
walking up
stairs.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
And that big alien creature guy that he uses is basically a guard dog. It's going to be hard to get up there without a lift.
Oh, no. Literally, the lift was the door. As in, there wasn't any other... It wasn't like a door...
Yeah, but I thought he had that later in the scene where that hitman comes
No, 'cause
round
there's-
and he has like one of those slidey door things that goes into his flat. I'm sure he comes out of a
you
lift.
see people in the hallway, because that's how the big
I think he's
monster's
got
there.
2 doors.
Fucking hell.
I know this guy. You haven't even got a house.
The service
Get out.
entrance.
Do you know what? I do want to say there was a couple of things straight off the bat that really warmed me to this film. Well, a couple. One thing. The Orion logo. When the film started and it had that like
yeah.
Orion where it's like the stars and it shows Orion, and it reminded me of being like a little kid and watching RoboCop for the first time, or RoboCop 2. What happened to Orion films? Like, did they just go bust?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got bought out.
They
by
died with the
someone.
80s.
And
Yeah.
then did you notice who produced the film? Came up in the credits at the beginning. I was like, what the fuck? Dodie fired.
Oh, yeah, no, I did see that.
Yeah, Harrod's mogul or whatever. Or no, it's Dodie. Dodie's the
one who
son.
died with Princess
That's
Diana.
Diana fucker,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. Dodie Diana fucker. That's his official name, yeah.
Yeah.
He produced the second one as well.
Did he?
I think the last
Is
thing
that
he
why they
produced.
killed him off?
Yeah.
He's gonna make a fucking trilogy. So this sets up the film, doesn't it? DeFranco says, yeah, I'll squeal, basically. And then they're going to set up this dummy assassination. Have we mentioned that it's a dummy one?
Yeah, it's like a fake assassination.
I mean, it's implied. It's his job to do fake death. Oh, we haven't even mentioned the fact that it started with an open fake out to the whole audience.
Oh, my days. The opening credits lasted far too long. I went and made pasta while that were on. I had it on my phone. I was just walking around. I put it, propped it up on the microwave in the kitchen. And I was like, this is lasting forever. I'm going to make some pasta.
And was this for your second viewing? Or have you just seen it the once?
No, I've seen it 3 times now. I watched it before I was ill.
Yeah.
Then I watched it again when I was ill. Then I became ill. I watched it again whilst I was ill, and it prolonged the illness.
You've watched this film 3 times?
Yes.
Fuck me. Were you mentally ill?
I think I am now.
Yeah.
You love it. Clearly. It's grown on you. Rollie has a tendency to do that.
I mean, there is a part of it that I really do like, and I'll get to this later on because it's a lot later on.
Yeah,
and it's not the end credits.
So, we have that whole beginning with the fish tank bit, but really we're getting into the Rollie bit.
Did anyone notice they really like running over animals or just killing animals in this film?
No.
So the lobsters.
Right, they're not real animals, but yeah, go for it.
So the lobsters, and then the car chase bit where he's running through all them meats.
Oh yeah,
and then crash into them box of chickens at the end.
Oh, you've got to crash into a box of chickens, though, haven't you? It's a proper action trope.
Just mad into just.
It was really random, that wwhole car scene chase. Scene.
Oh god, we'll get to that bit shortly because that just came out of nowhere. Because we've not really we've talked about the premise, but we've kind of skipped over it. So they offer him this opportunity to earn, isn't it, something really shit like £30,000?
Yeah, $30,000, tax-free dollars.
And this is what, late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah.
So 30k back then is enough for a house or two?
83 that it's supposed to be, because it goes on about one of the FBI guys.
Oh yeah,
being going freelance in 81.
Oh, right, okay then.
Okay.
And then, so they offer him 30 grand. No, but he's like the best special effects guy in Hollywood. So I reckon even at that time, he might have been on about 50 grand. So if someone came to you and we're going to offer you just over half your yearly wage to get involved with pretending to assassinate a mob boss, would you be like, yeah, sweet, I'm going to go and bang my missus, come back and tell you, yeah. I'd be like, no, get fucked.
Well,
You'd barter. You'd be like,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
60.
Well, maybe a bit, 100. It's the FBI. They've got a lot of money.
It's the FBI in the 80s, though.
But why did they need him? They didn't really say. They were just like, we think you should do it.
Because
and he was
he's the best.
Okay. Oh, pulling a fake trigger?
He's the best at... Because he's got to make all the shit, hasn't he?
Yeah, I get
why
he's got to do the squibs and, set that up, but
it's not
why
just
did he have to be the guy with the fake mustache?
Because it's a sequence, isn't it? He explains when he's shooting that giant alien.
So his entire job is explaining to actors how they do this to look right,
well,
and he can't explain it to someone else.
He makes it as well. He had to make DeFranco's corpse.
No, but what's his name? Fucking Ice-T. He could have explained to Ice-T, no, you just do this. I guess he's from the FBI, so...
but they wanted him there, didn't they? Because they wanted him to think...
He could have been in the restaurant. He could have been sat in the restaurant and been like, when you click that gun, I will press this button and go pop, 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 pop.
Well, no, because it's got to look real. If he's shooting down here at his foot and it's actually popping off at his head.
Why would he just go and shoot at the chest area? No one's going like, he aimed at the shoulder and it got him in the upper chest.
The FBI's motive was to have him there doing it because they wanted to get rid of him as well, didn't they?
No, but why did he agree? That's what I don't get. Why didn't he just go, no,
it's the FBI, man. He just agreed to whatever they're doing.
For 30 grand?
Yeah, well, you just
maybe
nervous,
he wasn't thinking straight after all that good loving.
He was just sex drunk.
Oh, well, I just want to know here, why have I got a note that says, am I beautiful? I don't exactly use random. I'm just asking myself this question.
I've got a note that says side boob, 3 a.m. call.
Oh, that's when he's making the phone call and she's got side boob art.
Yeah.
Because that's the woman who's in Heat, isn't it? Who's Natalie Portman's mum in Heat.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
For some reason, I thought you said Ali G's mum, and I don't know why.
So that's Ali G's mum.
Oh, so Ali G's mum.
I've just
bites
got
a
a note that
biscuit.
says, "Am I beautiful? Settle for Italian. ... Bit racist." Do you not remember? You've seen this fucking film 3 times.
Oh, is that the bit where he's
putting the makeup on. He's like, "Am I beautiful?" And he's
Yeah.
like, "I'd settle for Italian."
Oh, yeah, it's in the back of the truck.
Yeah. Right, okay then, well, so Rollie agrees.
Rollie.
He fucking agrees, Danny, mate. You guys are
Fuck.
fucking shoots a little prick.
gets his 4X from the Barbie.
Why is it okay to do that? If I was doing another accent, I'd feel really bad about myself. But because it's Australian, I'm alright.
Because they're there to be mocked.
Australians don't care. They do.
Yeah,
I mean,
feel like they'd mock us.
Yeah.
And we've
they
got an
do mock us.
understanding. Like, you rib us, we rib you. We'll get to the intricacies of racism another time. So Rollie was the bait then. He goes in, doesn't he? Full tash on and pretends to assassinate DeFranco.
Why is it always raining?
Yeah, it does rain a lot in this film, doesn't it?
Makes it more epic.
Mood.
It's raining when he goes and picks up the radio phone from his assistant and then ties her legs up.
Why was it?
I think it's because you see later on, like
She puts something in his booby traps, his box or something.
Yeah, booby traps a cigar box. I think it's just a case of like they kind of mock each other.
Yeah, but it's just
okay.
not very well put out there, is it?
No.
Yeah.
That whole friendship doesn't really work.
No, she's a bit weird. But then again, he's a bit weird.
He's
Yeah.
very weird.
But then when you're like just sat in a room moulding alien faces all day,
that's
every
true.
day, it's going to make you a
Sniffing
bit
glue.
weird. Yeah, just hoofing glue.
Yeah. Smoking mama's bong.
Yeah. Oh, so when the fake hit goes down.
Yeah.
But what you see before that is the FBI Lipton.
Lipton's messing around with a gun, isn't he? And he's like, Rollie's like, put that gun down, Lipton.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Did you not see him right before they do it? He's
Oh, yeah.
dicking about with the gun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Setting
maybe.
up what could possibly go wrong.
Yeah. So what does go wrong? He kills him.
Yeah.
I don't know why you were like leaving it like a mystery.
Well.
We'll come back in part 2 or whatever. He fucking offs him, doesn't
Well.
he?
Yeah.
What?
Well.
Does he not? Does he? Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Do you honestly not remember? I thought
can't
you
remember,
you
no.
were suggesting we pretend.
No, but
like
he thinks it. Oh, I can't remember this. I watched it 2 weeks ago, man. I'm going by my notes. He thinks he's killed him properly, doesn't
Yeah.
he? But he doesn't seem that bothered about it. Does
He doesn't at first. Like he's like, oh yeah, I've got him. Like he gets into the getaway car, which is Lipton's car, and like they're driving down, and it's like, oh, like Lipton's like, oh, how did it go? And it's like, yeah, really well. Everyone seemed to believe it. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
And then Lipton, I can't remember whether he was driving or someone else was driving. Either way, he turns around and tries to like shoot him.
But he's like, basically tells him, he's like, we can't have any loose ends or whatever.
Yeah.
Gives him plenty of time to
No
adjust.
loose ends, remember, Rollie.
And then that's when the whole car chase things happen. And the best bit I loved is where the car crashes into that sign, and then that homeless man is like, "You can't park here."
No parking.
Of course you love the bit with the homeless man. You always I feel like I've said that line before. You always love the bit with the homeless man. You really are like...
They're my brothers.
Yeah. And there were loads of Rambo posters in the background, which I thought was a bit odd. So then he realises that he was the bait, and then he goes and gets in a phone box, doesn't he, and tries to ring the
other FBI guy, the old guy.
the big guy with the hearing aid.
Yeah, so Lipton's boss, essentially.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, Colonel Mason. And he's like, oh, it's okay, just come in. And
Yeah.
'Cause
he's a nice man.
Yeah,
He's a nice
lovely,
old man.
Colonel Mason.
It's just like, oh, well, where are you? Like, obviously, the mob have paid off Lipton. Like, where are you? So he's like, oh, I'm in a phone box, like, on this corner and this corner.
Bad move.
And then some other poor soul is, like, wanting to use a phone box. And then, like, because Mason's like, oh, I'll send a squad car to come and get you. And then the poor guy could just get shot up by rogue cops.
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Gun him down.
in his prime.
And that's where the film really kicks into second gear. That's Rollie on the run.
Rollie on the run.
And I mean, what can a man do who's a special effects genius against the FBI?
Well, I think we'll find out shortly in part 2 for this FX episode.
Someone say my name?
Who are you?
I'm Bryan Dennehy.
What? No, not fucking Bryan Dennehy. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, bye.
Hello and welcome back to part 2 of this FX podcast from the Spoiled Milk Movie Podcast, part of our Practical Effects month. This was put forward by the Hobo. Just a quick line, why did you want to cover this film?
This is from my childhood.
It's the wrong film.
It's the
wrong film.
The wrong film from my childhood. I remember watching the second one, but I didn't realise it was the second
It's
one.
Rollie in the second.
Yeah. Same guy.
Right.
Essentially, the second film is a lot like other sequels at that time, where they just tried to copy exactly the same premise and story.
He didn't do the
beats.
same again, did he? Where someone was like, no, come on, do it again.
Oh no, but
It'll
this
be
time
fine.
he was a toy maker, but they're essentially trying to convince him to help him catch a bad guy this time instead of set up for a fake thing. But it's all the same story beats.
Maybe
but
we'll
it's
have
got
to do
more,
that another time then.
But it's got more special effects, which is the main reason why I remember this so much as a kid, because it had so many like special effects things. And back when this was on repeat on TV all the time, this is like the closest I got to behind the scenes, because I didn't know about like DVD behind the scenes and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't know about squibs or anything like that, and there wasn't like YouTube or anything.
Do you just like the word squibs?
Yeah, I do.
Throwing your movie words around. I couldn't even think of the word
Any
words.
words. Doing those.
Yeah,
words.
so that's why I liked it, because it was the most movie thing I could really understand at that time.
Oh, so we didn't do that film. We did the first one. We all watched the first one, some of us 3 times.
Sorry.
So at this point, he's proper in too deep.
Yep.
They're all after him. All the
fat
Trying
FBI.
to keep.
Some 41 in.
No, he's in too deep. And
I've got a bit of pain for pleasure.
yeah, good on. He's got punches, he's probably got a fat lip. And the FBI are after him. And there's a weird scene where he's in he's got like a boat. He goes down to a sewer. Do you remember? He goes down the sewer with his mate.
They go down to the sewer to hide, yeah.
Yeah, that comes way down the line.
Yeah.
You've missed out his girlfriend getting shot.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
You've missed out the fight scene in his flat with the guy that can do right good kicks.
But he didn't kick a guy in the neck and accidentally kill him, because that would have saved his life.
No, he didn't. Oh, yeah, Kung Fu Kick Man jumps over his tied hands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he ties his hands up, doesn't
So
he?
the sniper kills his wife, and then the sniper gets from that building into his building really quickly.
That's what you call a unicorn. A sniper who can also do kung fu and run real fast.
Yeah. Maybe he just took a long time mourning to see his dead missus.
But he just sat there in bed and just looked at her for a little while, just like, is she just falling asleep? Or is she having one of these lady moments?
There was a lot of blood.
My notes were worst fight ever.
It was great, and I can't say it. The
Continuity.
that's the one. Was just so bad.
Yeah.
Like, sniper comes in, he knocks him out, he ties his hands behind his back. Sniper guy just gets really great with a kick in and like kicks him loads, and he's on the floor for a little bit. He jumps off a balcony bit behind the boxes onto the sniper.
Oh, yeah, he does, doesn't he? That's funny.
But then there's like all these things on like his breakfast bar.
Yeah, he throws everything at him though, doesn't he?
But like there's like toasters and pans, and there's like an iron right on the end, and he picks up another pan. It's like, go for the iron.
Yeah.
Like, also the pan of boiling water. Who had time to put that pan of boiling water
Yeah.
How
on?
long has that been on since he got shot?
Maybe he was just making some ye old hot dogs. You know, the ye old ones where you get 6 in a tin.
The night before?
No, he just got up early, put the hot dogs on, and then got back in for a snooze. And was like, I'll have some breakfast hot dogs. You know how you do. But the ye old ones, not proper sausages, the ones you boil in water.
Yeah.
You're obsessed with ye old hot dogs right
Yeah,
now.
they're good. And like 60p a can. Hobo living. Yeah.
Hey, that's a lot to hobo living. That's 60p is a lot. You could get more than hot dogs with that.
Did anyone think he was going to pull some kind of like bit of pak choi out and make himself into a zombie?
No. I was hoping he was going to throw the boiling water on the sniper, but he didn't. He just threw the pan and missed him completely, and no water came out.
Oh, yeah.
No water came out the pan. He just put a dry pan on the flame. Why didn't no one burn anyone's face on the hob?
Yeah, hob burning.
And the iron disappeared and then came back.
See, this is the thing, you get it in the second one, they have a fight in a supermarket, and he traps the bad guy's head in one of those package wrapping things, so the cling film goes over his head, and he's got the phone back on the back of his head, and he's like, and you're like, yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have watched the second one.
I'm just going to be saying that. But I really like the ADR, the added dialogue in this fight scene, because it was just clearly the Australian actor going, oh, come on, man. Have it. Not have it, but whether the Australian equivalent is to have it.
It was great.
Oh, mate.
It was properly great. So then the fight scene happens. He then runs away.
And this is where Dennehy turns up. Brian Dennehy turns up. 45 minutes into the film, he was second billing. I was thinking Brian Dennehy's going to be in from the get-go, and then he turns up way into the film.
Yeah.
And then kind of like steals the show from there on. It's all about Dennehy and that weird lady that he's got a weird relationship with.
He loves that lady.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
It's like, oh, you're the greatest cop.
Or whatever, but yeah.
Is she a cop? She just types things in computers.
That's not like a cop, is it?
She's like a librarian.
Did you
Cops
think
kick people's
she felt
necks.
the same way about him, or she just wanted her holiday?
I think she
To
was
Jamaica.
just she was just playing up for that holiday to Jamaica.
Yeah.
She was just playing the 80s ladies card.
Why
It's
did we need
like,
to know?
I'm just gonna like flash you some nip and type some stuff into a computer and act stupid, and you're just gonna pay me loads of money.
Did I miss a scene where she just went,
It was really quick. Really quick.
have either of you seen Kung Pao?
Yes.
Where she flashed.
I wondered where that noise came from. It was a very specific nip slip noise. So then, now we get... So he goes on the run, and now he goes to the boating lake or whatever. Hides away with that woman, takes a little toolkit, doesn't he, full of prosthetics.
He's like, you need to go to my house and get me the green makeup case.
Toolbox
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
And she goes, picks up the big case, goes to the boating lake in Central Park or something.
Somewhere, yeah.
And then she's been followed. She goes into a little boathouse thing, and he just grabs her like, you've been followed. And she's like, what are you on about?
He's harsh. He's proper harsh to her.
Yeah, he is.
Every time on the phone, he's like, yeah, don't ask any questions, just do what I say.
When they're in that storm drain thing, and he's just like wrestling her, and she's like, what are you doing?
He's an angry man.
He is.
She should get away from him as fast as possible.
She don't.
But did you notice the guy
She
that they
loves him.
push him, the guy that's following him, they push him in the lake to run away from him?
Yep.
Did you recognise his face?
No.
No.
I didn't recognise his body either.
Did you recognise his ass?
His hairline.
His Last Action Hero?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. What?
You know
You should
the
have
bad
recognised his
guy
butt.
in Last Action Hero
Ian
who
McKellen.
wear the yellow coat, the bad guy in the movie who comes back with the axe and
Oh, yeah.
that guy. Yeah.
Ah, right, okay.
but
then.
much younger.
But he's barely in it, is
Yeah,
he? Must
but
be
I
one of
just
his
thought it was
first
a
roles.
nice thing. Yeah, that's all I had. Oh, a treat.
So what happens at this point then? He escapes.
There's some
And this
more
is where the car
nonsense.
scene thing... Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of nonsense. We don't need to go through all of it.
They-
But this is where he gets in that truck, isn't it?
Not quite. They go and steal the truck back
Yeah.
from the impound lot.
Yeah.
Because
Was that worth talking about?
they send a
blow up loads of shit, don't
yeah,
they?
they send a what's his face, the silverhead guy with a tash.
The cop.
Yeah,
Brian Dennehy.
that's
Yeah.
him. That's the one.
Do you have a tash in it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Because he had a thick tash. Beautiful tash.
because he's caught on now. He's just like, there's something not right here. The sniper guy that we found dead, something's a little bit awry. They go to Mason, the old guy, the old FBI guy.
Yeah, the old guy.
They go to him.
Yeah, Mason, you're right.
They start quizzing him, and like Brian's just like, it's not right here. He's full of shit, this guy.
But surprisingly, I thought the way they played it with that guy, he was good at pretending not to know what was going on. Because normally in those scenes, they're really bad at the big head-up cop are really bad at going, oh, because they always react when they hear someone's name. He didn't react at all, and when they said look him up, I was like, yeah, I'll look him up. Acted completely natural, and don't get me wrong, it was all a terrible scene, didn't it? But like that little bit was the most natural bit of
Yeah, I
would
thought he was
happen.
quite
Yeah.
good, actually, Mason. Yeah, he sold it quite well.
Yeah,
Because he's old,
Yeah,
he knows what
wise,
yeah.
full of lies,
Deaf.
dead.
he's probably dead now.
Yeah. Oh, he's well gone. I've got this thing at the moment where me and my other half will be watching films, and it'll be like an old film, and there'll be like animals in it, and I'll be like, they're dead now. I was just watching something, there was a Western on, and these horses like galloped up, and I was like, all those horses are dead. And she's like, why are you doing this? I'm like, well, they are.
I do that with 10 Things I Hate About You.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
Anyway. So there's a lot of calling from payphones in this film, isn't there?
Yeah, loads of payphones. So yeah, they go to the guy, they go to Mason. I'm sure, like, Brian Dennehy calls someone from a payphone as well.
yeah.
Yeah, there's just lots of payphones.
The bit where
Made me miss them.
there's a payphone calling a payphone.
Oh,
Yeah.
when
that's
they figure it
smart,
out-
though.
That's
is a good
the best line though, because
Beast.
Rollie
Oh, it's the beast bit. Oh, it's so good, mate.
Rollie goes, "What, did you forget why you hired me? For my particular genius?" Fucking loves himself.
Yeah, he does. He does love himself, though. He absolutely loves himself. No wonder all the ladies are after him.
He is great, though. Like, he dresses up like that weird hobo guy
Yeah, that's pretty good. He's got
in a
good tash.
payphone.
He dresses up as a payphone.
Yeah, he is the payphone in every scene.
I really like the bit where he put Lipton in the boot of that car and just started reversing into
Yeah, that was so good. Yeah, you never see that in films. I just go reverse into stuff. They were really
Yeah.
cheap, but good. I like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, a lot of films go over the top with those sort of things.
Well, is that before or after? Because we've had the car chase. We talked about that earlier. Runs through chicken, runs through pork. I just put runs through chicken and pork feathers, and I was like, pork feathers? What the fuck is that? He's got the guy in the boot. He confesses, does he? Because that takes us pretty much to the end in the house, doesn't it?
It's just like, oh, where's Mason? Where does Mason live? Because he figures out, like, shit's going down. Where's Mason live? Like, let's go to the head honcho.
Yeah.
So we end up at the end, don't we? We end up at the end. That's usually how films work.
Yeah.
And we're in DeFranco's house, aren't we?
We're in
Or is it
Mason's house.
Lipton?
We should
Mason's
should
house,
also
yeah.
mention as well at this point the cop Bryan
Dennehy.
Dennehy.
has
Dennehy.
been let go. He's been let go.
He's been suspended.
Okay. He got he got told to hand in his badge and his piece.
He didn't, though.
He did.
He didn't.
He stole the other guy's badge, if you remember. Because he pretends to be all upset, and then he is like,
Oh, yeah. And he's like, look at your jacket.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why does he get suspended again? Because he's delving into it too much, isn't he?
Yeah, so one of the other cops screwed him over, and then since that, he's been like the bad boy cop.
Yeah, he is a bit of a rebel.
And he really wanted the DeFranco case, and the cop that was working on it was like, nah, no. And then the case that he was working on of the shooting of Rollie's missus and really good kicking sniper guy kind of merges in, and like the chief of police is just like, if it merged, you should have come and spoke to me.
It's good advice.
So it just goes rogue and just like wants to do it. It wants to solve the mysteries.
Well, you would, wouldn't you?
He's a good cop.
Yeah,
He's a good cop like
He
that.
is.
And they've taken him off the beat, haven't they?
You don't
But
take
it
no
just goes
shit.
rogue anyway and
Yeah, it
like
does.
drives past Mason's house because that thing with the gate and the so this is the bit. This is where I started liking it.
Yeah? All this long into it.
This long into it, this is
Not
where
even
I
the pork
started liking it. Not even pork feathers. Because this just reminded me of Die Hard meets Home Alone.
Yeah, it
Yes.
really felt like Home Alone, didn't it? But yeah, the Die Hard element, I never thought that.
It was so great. Like the Rollie goes to the house, there's Mason's house, there's a security guard there. He does some sort of weird electric fencing of the gate. It looks like what's on the back of a bumper car.
Yeah.
And he just like touches it onto the metal gate and it makes a noise and the security guard's just like, oh, what's going on? He's got a gun in his hand. The gun touches the gate and then electrocutes him.
Yeah, because on my notes, I had,
awesome.
how did he electricity man on fence is what I had. I didn't get that.
you good English.
Yeah, I didn't get what the hell happened.
He had, essentially, if you imagine he had a battery there and just touch the battery, so that gate was live, so then when the guy
And he
touched
just
it, he
had
finished
that
the
on him?
circuit.
He's a special effects man. He has everything.
Oh, this feels
Don't
tense.
underestimate him.
I feel like this film was written by a special effects guy. It was like, we're the unsung heroes of Hollywood.
They are.
They are, yeah. I mean, this is
Well,
what practical
the story
effects
is
want
that
is
I
all
think
about.
one of the supervisors got approached by the FBI to help them numerous times.
What, is this based on a real life story?
Not a real, no,
Is-
not
is
a real life
Rollie
story.
real?
True facts.
Just the real occurrence of being asked to do it. So it's. I mean, this is obviously. I don't imagine they still do it now.
No, maybe.
Possibly.
So he cuts the wiring to the alarm, and then I've got something about a mirror.
Yeah.
I remember this.
This is great. So he messes about with the fuses at first so he can get round the house and he plants like little bits of things. So when the bad guy's bodyguards are like wandering around, they're like, oh, he's trying to trick us. Look, there's this. And it's like, that's what you think.
Yeah, this
And
is
then-
Rollie.
It's like sneaking round with like what looks to be like a projector screen. That's what you think it is at first. And he gets to like this corner and he figures out like there's one like bodyguard in one room, another bodyguard in another room, and the two corridors meet. He sets this thing up and it's just like a mirror. And he kind of stands in like a doorway of somewhere, like sets something off, and then one of the bodyguards shouts to the other bodyguard that's behind this screen. The bodyguard sees this screen and sees a reflection of Rollie, then shoots what he thinks is Rollie, but it's not, it's actually a reflection. Then shoots the bodyguard behind the screen.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I didn't really get what that thing was and how the
It
angles
was an
worked.
illusion, a trick
Yeah.
of the mind.
Yeah, it was quite odd, wasn't it? And then whose hand does he glue to? A gun?
That's right at the end.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of good other things to come.
Is it? I've got electric window.
Yeah. So that's before hand glue man.
Well, we don't have to go through every single
We
little
missed
Home
the
Alone.
deadly balloon.
Oh, the dead.
There's a floaty balloon.
It goes over the gate,
Blows
comes
up
down.
a balloon and kills a guy. How? Like, what the fuck?
Don't
It
know.
had like gunpowder in it or something.
Just explodes in his face. He just dies.
Right.
There's what else is there?
Home Alone trips another guy. I've got electric window pacemaker is what I've got.
Yeah,
here.
so he electrifies a window. DeFranco touches it, dies.
Right, okay, so that's DeFranco gone.
Oh, but before he's like, Mason's like, the key, give me the key.
Is he Gwildor?
Yeah.
That's the scene.
Gwildor!
Gwildor! Gwildor!
Gwildor.
Gwildor! 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 Gwildor!
He just shrinks immediately. He gets the key, and this is to how much monies?
It's a couple of million, like
Like
15 million.
15 million or
Yeah.
50 million?
I think it's 15.
Lots of millions.
Lots of millions.
Multiple millions.
Much millions. Much millions of money that DeFranco has been like squandering from the mob.
Yeah.
And that's in somewhere. I can't remember where it is. The Cayman Islands, let's say, because that's where everyone's money is.
Offshore account.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, it's in the back of my cross. And he gives him... he gives Mason the key, does DeFranco. And then...
oh, his death is amazing.
What I love, though, is when, because we've missed it slightly, is when DeFranco is, like, shooting stuff, and then there's a corpse that looks just like Rollie that falls through the door, but it's not him.
And who is it?
It's one of the bodyguards that he's put the face makeup on.
You're making this sound so good.
Oh, I thought that was him and he was pretending to be dead.
No, because he comes from behind Mason.
And it wasn't that, like, stoner mom zombie that he'd brought along with him?
No, like...
with their bong?
I think that got chucked out in the car chase.
I just remember Mama.
So, yeah... He super glues Mason's hands to...
Yeah, this bit was brutal. Like,
it was great, though. The police are surrounding the house. He super glues... crazy glues. Mason's hands to this massive gun, and then just shoves him outside to get shot.
Yeah, and then they're like, put the gun down. And he's like, I can't.
This is a mistake.
And they're just like... brrr, brrr.
if you watch between the shove and him going out the door, though, there's a long gap.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't going out any door.
No.
And then it's almost like he gets shoved and then he decides to walk out the door.
And the cameraman's had to, like, run round the outside of the house.
So, I mean, my memory of this is getting really bad because I've got something... does Rollie fake his own death or something?
To get out of the ground, he fakes his own death.
Yeah.
He gets taken to the morgue, but Bryan is just like,
Dennehy. Right.
something's going on here. Something's not quite cricket.
Yeah.
Rollie escapes from morgue, gets outside. Bryan's there with a gun to his face, like,
oh, yeah.
Rollie, we need to talk. And then they steal loads of money.
Yeah, and then they end up in some kind of, like, car in...
They end up in, what is it?
The Cayman Islands.
Vice.
Yeah, the
They've both got,
at
like,
the end.
the white suits on, and they look straight out of, GTA Vice City.
Dennehy throws his badge away, doesn't he? And they're in this kind of... They've gone off into a sunset together to go into hijinks, which I'm sure is exactly where it picks up for FX2. No. Right, okay, well, there's some kind of gag reel on the end, but I'm going to go straight into my thoughts of this film. Thought it was wank. Hated it. Hated watching it. I'm quite glad I watched it, though, because I never get to watch wank films, or, like, properly wank ones. Like, I'll watch, like, films that are bad, but this was, like, utter garbage. So it was nice to watch something that was, like, utter toss.
You're crushing this.
Yeah, I thought it was utter shit. I thought Rollie was awful. I never want to see a film with him in ever again. I thought it was the worst leading man. Quite like Dennehy, quite like the guy with the hearing aid. But yeah, I thought it was spoilt milk. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay. All right.
I want to hear what you think.
Yeah, so it stops you from copying.
I agree. It's pretty terrible. It's got some laughable mistakes that really shouldn't be in a film, but I also feel much like the thing with the slow credits. It's the editing is very much of its time. Like if you watch any film from that, I don't really pull it back from that, and I do love the special effects. And I'm trying to think now if it's got maybe more special effects in the first one than the second one that I remember. I can't remember, but either way, I think it was too much of I wouldn't want this film not to exist, and I would happily watch it again. Probably not straight away, probably not 3 times in like 2 weeks.
three times in 3 weeks.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm going to say it's a luxurious cheese.
All right. Katty, deciding vote.
So I am going to side with Cham.
Hey!
Unfortunately.
I really thought you weren't.
So the last 10 minutes was the only bit of the film that I enjoyed. Like, I was watching it the last time I watched it, which was today. Just kind of going through the first part of it, like, why am I watching this again?
I'd be asking that if I was you.
Yeah.
Why? And then I was just like, oh, okay, so picking up little bits that I've forgot, and I was like, all right, then fair enough. And then it got to the last 10 minutes, I was like, okay, now I'm enjoying it, and then it just ends.
Yeah.
I was like, this has just been a lot of shit.
Yeah.
For not so much greatness.
I think...
And it wasn't, like, extraordinary great either.
No.
It's not like it could have been like, oh, the last 10 minutes were, it made it. It was great. It was worth all the pain. And just holding my head in my hands like, this guy, all I can think of is Crocodile Dundee. Can I just watch Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah, I thought that.
So yeah, spoilt milk.
I really thought you'd be on my side this time.
Sorry,
Yeah, I
Hobo.
did. So unfortunately, FX is spoilt milk, and we'll see you next time for our next practical effects film. Bye!
Bye!